Hello my beautiful viewers on my channel, James Higgins Open World. What I've got for you now is a DVD review, Time After Time. There it is. Right, I'll read you what it says. It says Time After Time, 1979 film. Time After Time is a 1979 American science fiction film directed by screenwriter Nicholas Meyer and starring Malcolm McDowell. Plot. In 1893 London, popular writer Herbert George Wells displays a time machine to his sceptical dinner guests. After he explains how it works, including a non-return key that keeps the machine at the traveller's destination and a vaporizing equalizer that keeps the traveller and machine on equal terms, police constables arrive at the house searching for Jack the Ripper. A bag with blood-stained clothes belonging to one of Herbert's friends, a surgeon named John Leslie Stevenson, leads them to conclude that Stevenson might be the famous killer. Wells races to his laboratory, but the time machine is gone. Stevenson has escaped to the future, but because he does not have the non-return key, the machine automatically returns to 1893. Herbert uses it to pursue Stevenson to November 5th, 1979, where the machine has ended up on a display at a museum in San Francisco. He is deeply shocked by the future, having expected it to be an enlightened socialist utopia, only to find chaos in the form of airplanes, automobiles, and a worldwide history of war, crime, and bloodshed. At an antique shop, Herbert exchanges some British banknotes for present-day American money. Growing hungry after a day without food, he enters McDonald's and is alternately puzzled and pleased with 1979 dining options. Nothing the similarity between 1890s pommes frites from France and modern French fries, while he's still raffled by the idea of dining without tableware. Reasoning that Stevenson would also need to exchange his British money, Herbert asks him about him at various banks. At the Chartered Bank of London, he meets employee Amy Robinson, who says she had directed Stevenson to a local hotel. Confronted by his only time friend Herbert, Stevenson confesses that he finds modern society to be pleasingly violent, stating, 90 years ago I was a freak, today I'm an amateur. Herbert demands he return to 1893 to face justice. But Stevenson instead attempts to wrestle the time machine's key from him. Their struggle is interrupted by a maid and Stevenson flees, getting hit by a car during the frantic chase. Herbert follows him to the hospital emergency room and mistakenly gets the impression that Stevenson has died from his injuries. Herbert meets up with Amy Robbins again and she initiates a romance. Stevenson returns to the bank to exchange more money, suspecting that it was Amy who had led Herbert to him. He finds out where she lives. Herbert, hoping to convince her of the truth, takes a highly sceptical Amy 3 days into the future. Once there, she is aghast to see a newspaper headline revealing her own murder as the Ripper's 5th victim. Herbert persuades her that they must go back. It is their duty to attempt to prevent the 4th victim's murder, then prevent Amy's. However, they are delayed upon their return to the present and can do no more than phone the police. Stevenson kills again and Herbert is arrested because of his knowledge of the killing. Amy is left alone, totally defenseless at the mercy of the San Francisco Ripper. While Herbert unsuccessfully tries to convince the police of Amy's peril, she attempts to hide from Stevenson. When the police finally do investigate her apartment, they find the dismembered body of a woman. Now convinced of Herbert's innocence, the police release a now heartbroken Wells. However, he is contacted by Stevenson, who had actually killed Amy's co-worker, revealed to be the dead body in Amy's apartment, and taken Amy hostage in order to extort the time machine key from Wells. Stevenson flees with the key and Amy is as his insurance to attempt a permanent escape in time using Amy's car driving the unfamiliar machine erratically. Herbert manages to follow them through the museum while Herbert bargains for Amy's life. He is able to escape as Stevenson starts up the time machine. Herbert removes the vaporizing equalizer from it, causing Stevenson to vanish while the machine does not. As Herbert had explained earlier, this causes the machine to remain in place while its passengers sent travelling endlessly through time with no way to stop it. In fact, time in order to destroy the machine that he knows is too dangerous for primitive mankind. Amy pleads with him to take her along, explaining she has no remaining ties in the 20th century. As they depart to the past, she jokes that she is changing her name to Susan B. Anthony. The film ends with the caption, H.G. Wells married Amy Catherine Robbins, who died in 1927. As a writer, he anticipated socialism, global war, space travel, and women's liberation. He died in 1946. Well, it's a great film. If you love time travel films, you're going to love this. It is a great film. Absolutely fantastic film, in my opinion. You know my marking system. It's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 with a gold star, off the charts. Now this film is off the charts. That's what it is, off the charts. So get yourself a copy. Time after time. It's awesome. Anyway, see you on the next one.